getting ready, I think, to head back to Hutchinson. Thank you, scientists, all of you, for letting us come share your experience today. We want to celebrate everything that's going on in your school. We want to lead this for you, so you guys can know where to find us in more destination EDventure. They are here to represent the ESSDACK. They've been filming. They came early this morning, and they were here to film Breakfast with the Scientists.
I am Dr. James Naismith.
Who are you?
Marie Curie.
I'm Manvelyan Earhart.
I am Valentina Tereshkova.
You look amazing. I'm so proud of you. You guys did a great job on your graphic organizers, and you look great. You being in character. I could tell who you were when you walked in the door, so you did a great job.
What did you do that was important to science?
Well, I invented the first game of basketball and the first 13 original rules of basketball.
Now, what did you do?
I discovered radium and polonium.
What are those?
Radium is a type of metal that gives off energy. Polonium is an element, I think.
Now, what did you do that was impactful science?
Well, I was the first woman to go to space.
The first woman in space?
Yes.
What year did you do that in?
1963.
Miss Goodall, what are you famous for?
Well, I was famous for studying the chimpanzees' behavior and how they interact with other animals.
Where did you do your studies at?
Well, I did it in Africa and in school, in college.
How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I've been doing it for quite some time, so it's just in our standards they want us to be aware of scientists and learn about them, and so in our classroom I try to do as many hands-on things as I can, and I feel like this way they'll remember it and they'll remember their friends who were other scientists, so it's stuck because I have kids come back now and say, oh, I remember who I was, and so it's been a good thing, I think, and enjoyable once you get past the exhaustion of it.
What was the biggest aha moment you had going through this process of creating a brand new basketball game, a game called basketball that's going to take over a nation?
Well, I was just thinking the whole time that if it became big, then I would be really famous and that it would be, but it was really stressful still.
Well, I thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
What was the biggest event in your life?
Probably when I discovered radium and polonium. Or I got Nobel Prize.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I know you're in the middle of breakfast with all your other scientist friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, what did it take for you to become a woman in space?
Lots of training and a lot of protests because they thought women weren't allowed to do those things back then.
So how did she prove herself?
She started doing speeches in front of thousands of people, and she went to this amazing academy, like this Air Force Academy for military. She was one of the only women there, and she proved to the other people there that women could do things and men could do.
Thank you very much, Valentina. What was your favorite thing about breakfast with the scientists?
Just that we get to dress up and act like the scientists ourselves.
Where did you get your NASA suit at?
It's just like a snowsuit.
Yeah?
Her research on shark
And then I
behavior and her stay on
put it off these patches.
Did your parents help?
Yeah, my mom did.
Well, thank you, Neil. What progress were you able to make in studying these animals?
Well, like I just studied and like I discovered them, all of my progress, it made me just realize that I know this is what I'm gonna do my whole life, and I need to keep practicing. And so I kept going and kept going and kept going, and then finally I got to my point where I'm like, yes, I did it. I made it big in life.
Thank you so much, and thanks for your contributions.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead and get some information from your scientists at your table, and then we'll go around and I'll let you switch, okay?
What did you learn as a parent through this?
That science was really fun for my child. He got online and started doing research. He was very excited for this morning. He was very into the costume, so he spent a lot of time looking online to see what Charles looked like during that time period, and then went and found the stuff for his costume.
By himself?
Yeah, he was really into it. Yeah, after school, he came home and said, "Mom, we have this really cool project. I have to get ready and I have to look really good." So he spent a lot of time working on it.
Kids are eating breakfast that is prepared by the school board. How did you make that happen?
They volunteered. It was just, they're wanting to get into our schools and see what's happening in the classrooms and be a part of what's happening in our classrooms. And so this was just a great mesh for that. They volunteered, and they've been up here since 7 cooking, and they got the food and provided that, so it was free of charge to the kids. It's good, and that's what we want in our community. We want to bring the community and the parents in, the school board in, and if everybody can buy in, then the education is really going to be great for everyone.
So, as board members, why did you volunteer this?
Because Bud told me to be here.
Because he told you to be here?
Yeah.
They do this a lot. At the beginning of the year, the end of the year, they always do it for our teachers, our staff. And so they heard this was going on and decided it'd be a good thing to do for the kids. They're always really involved.
This is my room. So we have the ferrets. We have a couple ferrets over here, and they are our class pets. There's one.
One of those crazy animal people.
There's one right here. And they are so sweet. They just hang out with this. Yeah, wanna hold it?
Sure.
And then this is the other one.
I'm sorry to wake you up.
And they're so good. They're so good for those kids that struggle with emotions, and they'll just come and pet these guys, and it does a world of good. It's just been fun to have them in the classroom. A lot of time, people are like, "Why do you do that?" And I think, well, it's because the payoff for me is they love science. I never have any discipline problems. They love to be here. They hate to miss. I mean, how often can you say that about other classes that they don't want to?
Well, because they have a relationship with
Yes,
you, and they
it
just
is.
discovered they love science.
Right, they
Because
do.
it's not a sit and get.
Right.
You let
Yes.
them explore science.
And that's it. They feel like, they always ask, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? And so I know they're excited about it. And they know I usually have something crazy planned, and then we'll get through the hour. And that's the thing, it goes by so fast. We only have 55 minutes for each core class. And so I get 5th grade twice. I have 2 5th grades, 2 6th grades. And so we do our core classes in the morning and one in the afternoon. And then we'll have the other, like computer or tech or library or band, those
But you
kind
see
of
them
things.
daily.
See them daily, yes.
Do you
every
think
day.
that makes a difference versus...
I do. And I think the relationship that they feel like they know I work so hard to make it exciting for them. And so the payoff is they work hard back. I mean, they really do. When you look at the percentage of the kids, they all were decorated up. They all had their, every one of them. And that's hard to, in real life, if there's so many kids that struggle with so many aspects of their life. Just getting to school sometimes is a struggle. And so if they can put all of that aside and get into learning, that they've got it. I have done my job. I feel like the challenge of teaching has been met because I've made them want to learn. When they leave me, they'll come back and say, "Oh my gosh, I remember, doing this." And they still come back and visit, and they still come back and say, "Are you doing this?" But they still want to learn. And I figure maybe it's just a year or two out of their life that they have that experience, but they learn from it, and they know they can do anything. They can be the scientist. They can do all these things. So I hope to build their confidence, get them going so they feel like I can succeed.